Hello, friends. Hello, hypnotherapy friends, coaches, life coaches, hypnotherapists, RTT hypnotherapists with Maritha Peer or any other school. My name is Stef, and welcome again to our Thursday digital marketing review and, kind of coaching and showing you around what we are doing and what you are doing and answering some questions. So if you are listening to this, if you see me, it would be kind if you could leave me a quick comment in the comment box. Let me know from where you are watching, if you can hear me fine, see me fine, so that everybody will be able to benefit from what I have to show you today. So today's topic, it's not a specific topic. It's rather we are applying what I talked about 2 weeks ago when I talked about best practices for landing page optimization. And I just got a message. It works. Perfect. So this means I can get my space helmet off my head, which is so much better. 1 second. Gonna put this one away. And here we go. So you remember that last week, 2 weeks ago, I was presenting best practices for landing pages. And so I got a few questions of you in regards to your own websites. And I thought, why not having a look at some of your websites and applying the principles that I've been shortly presenting that we've been looking at together. And if you remember correctly, we had a look at this website here. Let me quickly put it on the screen. It's Unbounce, which is one of the landing page builder that I use. I used the blog for the 11 best practices. I generally tend to recommend a different landing page builder, which is Convertry, because it is a WYSIWYG builder, more easy to manage. It is lightning fast, and it has other advantages, but they don't have a blog where they have been presenting the best practices. So we take those. So I simply took those 11 and I added them to a notepad so that you can follow me on the screen. Let's switch back to this here. So I put them here, those 11 elements. So let's quickly go through them. Best practices. To ensure that your message matches your ads is the first element that was on top of the list. And that's a very important one, because if that's not the case between your ads and your landing page or your homepage, if it's a website, then you will have a disconnect. And when you have a disconnect, then you have a problem with people clicking through because they do not find the information that they were interested in the first place when they saw your ad. The second point, I'm just running quickly through them, if you'd allow me to do it, just to remind us what we had. Keep the action above the fold. That we will have a look at this specific point when we have a look at 2 websites today. Use directional cues to direct the eye. Show your product or service in action. Remove navigation and other distraction. Include authentic social proof. Use clear, compelling copy. Keep it fast. Design for the right device. Test and update your landing pages. And consider using a template. So I suggest that today we'll have a look at 2 websites. And on our group, in our group, Facebook group, both Jasmine was submitting her website to have a quick look at, and Stephanie as well, Stephanie Fernandez. So Stephanie and Jasmine will have a look at your sites today. Quickly running through those 11 points. We'll see if we are able to run through all of them. I'll try to make it quick so that you get a better sense of what you could improve on your own website or landing page. Okay. I suggest we start with Jasmine's, because you were the first posting that message inviting us to have a look at your website on the Facebook group. So let's switch back to my PC and we open your website. Okay. So here we've got Jasmine. Everything is in German because Jasmine is offering her services in Germany as what's called a Heilpraktikerin for physiotherapy in German. So the services she offers here, you see, it's RTT, probably an information page. She has pain management, pain coaching, vaginismus, physiotherapy in terms of the Beckenboden. I wouldn't even know how to translate that, but it's everything related to more or less physical problems that result in pain. So obviously, Jasmine seems to focus or to specialize in pain management, and I think I saw that on your website as well. So let's apply those 11 points, right? So first of all, ensure your message matches your ads. So we're not coming from an ad perspective here. We have no Google ads to look at. We have no Facebook ads to look at. So obviously we cannot really comment on that point. But just to give you an idea, if Jasmine would be focusing on pain management, so obviously the ad that she would have on Facebook or on Google ads, or if you do social media activities such as commenting, I'd probably create a group around pain management as well. So obviously that whatever you do in terms of advertising, promotion, talking about the services you're offering, you would need to be very clear in relationship to the service that you're offering. And by the way, I don't know, for those of you who are in this business of hypnotherapy, helping people overcome obstacles, reducing pain, become a better version of themselves. It's a different kind of marketing. I always am quite reluctant to use the term business per se. It is a business because there's revenue involved, obviously, but it's about people having problems, issues that we're trying to overcome, help them with. So, but nonetheless, if we want to help as much people as we can, then obviously we need to generate the revenue that allows us to do so on a larger scale than just working, let's say, in our evenings and on the side. So if it's a real business for you, a real activity that you'd like to engage in as your main activity, then yes, it becomes a business. So, and when that happens, I'm a strong proponent of investing into ads. And there are different levels of ads that we can use to do that. And we talk about ads because it's the first element that we found on this list. Let's quickly switch back. Ensure your message matches your ads. So when it comes to ads, I'm a strong proponent, defender of PPC ads, specifically Google ads. Why? Well, first of all, the three main elements or the three main tools in terms of ads would be PPC, and PPC means pay-per-click ads. That's Google ads, also Facebook ads, because on Facebook you have ads and you click. Although it's on social media, it's called PPC ads because it is related to ads you click on to have a result, to send people to a web page or to a lead ad, whatever it is. And the third element would be social media activities at large. It could be an influencer campaign. It could be your day-to-day activities on social media to drive people into your funnel. It could be you animating a Facebook group around a specific topic. For example, we talked about pain management for Jasmine. Among those three, the last one that I forgot is a very important one, by the way, on social media. What works best actually is a viral marketing campaign involving social media. And that could be an entire topic for an entire live stream at one day. It's incredibly effective if it's well done. There's a little bit more work involved, but it can be incredibly effective. And it's viral marketing, so it's basically a very low investment in terms of budget or no budget at all, because the viral aspect of the campaign drives actually the traffic. But among those three, the most immediate and the most effective one in terms of return on investment is Google Ads. For a very simple reason. Google Ads, Google ads appear when somebody is searching on Google for a specific service, a specific product, and thus has a specific pain point that that person wants to get rid of, a problem that needs to be solved. And so when somebody is searching actively on Google, there is no longer the necessity to warm up the lead, so to speak, or at a much higher level, because that person knows already that she's got a problem that she needs to solve. So she's looking for a solution already. We don't need to convince anyone that, for example, hypnotherapy could be a good solution to stop smoking, or to take care of your pain, or to take care of procrastination, to remove obstacles related to public speaking, what have you. If people have become aware about a problem in their search for it, it's much easier to convert them. So that's why Google ads convert way, way better than Facebook ads. Facebook ads work, but at a much lower conversion rate. In terms of percentages, when we look at Google ads, they convert, normally a good campaign converts upwards of 10%, 10, 15, sometimes 20%, which is quite impressive. Facebook ads are in the lower 1, 2, 3, 4%. And that's very, very naturally related to the fact that on Facebook, we all are on Facebook because it's entertainment. We're not searching actively for something. We don't go to Facebook to type in the search bar something we're looking for in terms of a service or product. We go there because we have our friends there, and because we are on certain groups, and we are watching, and we are reading, and we are commenting on messages that have been left in those groups. So it's a very different approach. So I always say to people, if you're serious in terms of developing a business, and that includes for me hypnotherapy business, if you're serious on making this a main activity, you want to be successful because your goal is to help as many people as you want, then I invariably tell people to start with Google ads. And Google ads involves a budget, right? It's not a zero investment. Google ads there's a budget involved. And then people, whenever I say that, people immediately look at the cost factor. And I recommend generally to not even start with anything under, let's say, $500 a month. Now, when I just say to you this number, maybe some of you may just like, whoa, sit up in the seat, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever. It's very important that you do not look at, when it comes to business and to marketing and to the marketing cost, that you do not look at those prices that I'm just mentioning, $500 minimum. Well, it could be less. It depends what campaign you're doing. If you're doing just a local campaign, it can be less. But usually under 500, it just takes too much time to generate conversions. But again, to come back very quickly to this point, don't perceive it, don't look at it as a cost factor, something that will take money out of your pocket. Yes, the money comes out of your pocket, of course, but you should perceive it from a business perspective as an investment. And when I say investment, it means that if I invest $500 a month into a campaign to generate leads, to generate conversions, like clients booking sessions, then I perceive that and I look at that as a return on investment. Let me explain. For such a campaign, let's say $500, I would want a minimum return on investment of 200%. A minimum. I want the double coming back, right? And otherwise, I would not want to invest $500 to get $500 back. Okay, I cut back. That's called the break even, right? A break even point when you invest $500 and you get $500 back. So, but I would be looking at least 200, probably, if I want to have a good campaign, between 3, 5, 4, 6, sometimes 700% return on investment. What this means is, in very simply expressed, a 500% return on investment, or in this case, it's a return on ad spend, ROAS. For $1 invested into my Google Ads campaign, I want to get $5 back. That's what this means, 500%. So, and if you invest $500 into a Google Ads campaign, and let's say it's going so, you just find that's per month. You find with $500, you would just find 2 clients per month, which I think would be incredibly low, right? Well, if you're selling your sessions for, like I do, for $350 minimum, then I have with $500 invested, I would get back $700. So I'm immediately on 150% or more. I invested $1, I get back $1.50. So, but it should, and it must be more than that. Let's say with $500, you find 4 clients, or maybe you find 5 clients, 6 clients. Let's say you find just 1 client a week, not more, as a conversion rate. So now you have 4 times $350. You're on $1,350, I think. If my 100, well, whatever. You're above 200% right away. So you see, when you look at this in this way, your $500 coming out of your pocket are invested into something that must bring money back, return on investment. That's how I look at it. It's no longer a cost, and we should get away from that and perceiving it as a cost. And I know that for some of you, and probably all of you, if you're just starting out, you've never had a business before, we all struggle with viewing those $500 as something that needs to generate money to come back. Because otherwise, my recommendation would be, don't even invest at all. In this case, I just recommend, like, you have your website, you do your word of mouth. Sometimes clients come, sometimes they don't, but you don't necessarily rely on it because you've got a job, a full-time job, and you do this on the side. In this case, no need to invest. If you're running this on the side, and if you do not have the ambition to make this a full-time activity, why would you invest into Google Ads and find clients that will fill your week with so much sessions that you now need to do if you have a full-time job already? If, on the other hand, you have the desire to invest into this, to make it work, and to little by little, once it starts kicking off, to leave an employment where you already are, or you go from a full-time to a half-time employment if it's possible, then this strategy makes very much sense, because there's nothing faster to generate leads and revenue than Google Ads. So that's basically it when it comes to Google Ads. And that's just as a side note, that's also why I decided for the alpha launch. When we do the alpha launch, for those of you who are watching for the first time, we are working on a program for hypnotherapists just starting out, or for those of you who want to scale a business, to have a scalable, recurring, stable revenue that allows you to do this full time. We will very likely offer setting up Google Ads campaigns for our alpha participants for free. And for free, I mean the setup, the design of the campaign, and also the monthly management, because they need to be managed. What's not free, obviously, is the investment that you need to do in terms of the monthly ad budget, which was the $500 that I've been referring to. But I'm very tempted to add that for free for the alpha students that will come up. Anyway, long story short, by the way, I didn't mention it. So whenever you've got a question to anything I'm saying right now, just drop it as a comment underneath this video. It will appear on a second screen, on a second monitor that I have here, and then I can answer this question. So let's go back to Jasmine's website, which is here. So again, we cannot talk about ads because Jasmine is not running ads. She's just building her website, as I know. Keep the action above the fold. Let's have a look at this point. So keep the action above the fold. So my first question would be, okay, what does just means action? When we say action, let me see if I'm at 100%. Yeah, I'm at 100%. Action in this case means, what is the call to action? What is it specifically that we want a visitor to do on this page? If I'm looking at this page, I see a lot of information. Okay, I've got a menu with a lot of things to look at. I've got a lot of things to read, but then I have something here that tells me book a free call. That's something I like. Okay, I like it because there is a call to action which is clearly visible. It's in a button. It's on a button. So there's something, and everybody likes free, right? So it's enticing in terms of what's happening on this page. On the other hand, there's a lot of things going on this page. You have the menus, you have the information, what she does, her name. All this is fine, but and we will come to this point, I am tempted to click anywhere else before I book a free call. Okay. It's not necessarily that it's bad. I don't say that it's bad. You just have to keep in mind that if it is the way it is right now, you drive people not necessarily into your main call to action that you'd like people to perform on that site, on that page, which is to book a free call. Okay. So if I sorry, where are my buttons? Here are my buttons. If I click now on book a free call, let's see what happens. Okay, so that's well done. The book a free call goes directly on the calendar to take this free call, right? To book it. And she has probably on next page other availability. So that's well done. Okay, I like that. The one thing that you could do, Jasmine, is moving forward is to have what we call a discovery call funnel. Like, take me, for example. I will not take anyone who wants to get a free call because free is easy. Everybody wants something for free. So even if they're remotely interested in what you have to offer in terms of pain management and everything, all the services that you're offering on your website, I could still just sniff it out, and I'm not really convinced about hypnotherapy, but guess what? It's free. Just let me take it. So you may get a certain percentage of people that take that opportunity to get a free information for you, and maybe some of them may even think that they get a free kind of a free short hypnotherapy session or whatever. You never know what people have in their mind. So you may have a great percentage of people that are actually not really committed to do what they would need to do or what you would want them to do in terms of achieving results when it comes to pain management, right? But on the other hand, you've done a good job by adding this button clearly here, and you have a Calendly booking page where people can take that booking. But there's a discovery funnel that, let me explain to you why when a discovery funnel becomes important. A discovery funnel becomes important when you drive traffic into your funnel, and your top of the funnel is your homepage. You would probably send them to this page, right? If you have a, let's assume you have a Google Ads campaign and you drive traffic on this. Trust me, with a Google Ads campaign for pain management, you will get a lot of visits on this page. Pain management, a lot of people, I know it out of the back of my hand, will be interested in it. So there will be a lot of clicks. There will be a lot of visits to the page. You will increase the numbers of people interested in taking that free offer of the free booking call. And when the volume of people increases that visit on this page and that take that free call, then that's where your problem may arise, where you get so many free calls, booking calls, and lower conversions, because you will also get all those are just like what's called in American kicking the tires, like trying it out. It's free, nothing to lose. I take it. So that you can get overwhelmed with serving so many free calls that they take time away in your week to actually book sessions. You've got to be careful with that, right? So my design on my own page, which I can very quickly show you, I am including on my page, you see I have the same button here, free discovery call. But if I click here, if somebody clicks here, they're not getting the Calendly link. They get an application. They're now asked to, oh, sorry, I don't show you what's going on. So let me close this quickly. So here, my page. On my page, I have a very similar setup. I have a free discovery call here. But here, if you click on my free discovery call, you don't go to a Calendly page. I want people to apply for an hypnotherapy session, right? And now they go through a questionnaire. So I explain how hypnotherapy works. I explain that this is a confidential application. And I also explained that they may be asked to provide additional information for me to actually decide whether or not they are a good client, if they are a good fit. And I do this before I actually invite them to take a discovery call. I don't want to discover during the call that I'm talking to somebody who's actually just half committed. They don't really haven't made up their mind yet, right? So I want, if I drive a lot of people on my landing page or on my homepage that you just saw, then I want all of them go through this questionnaire and have only the committed ones booking a call. Let's make it very quickly, run through it so that you see what I'm talking about. So they click on next. I'm asking them for their first name. So Stef Becker. And clicking on next, what's your email? Okay, let's just like stefbecker.com, which is my becker.com. I go to next. How did you find me? So I'm doing a little marketing survey, mini marketing survey. Was it by an advertisement? Did they receive an email from an email marketing campaign? Was it on social media, or was it a referral from a friend? So they click this. They can click several of those. Then I ask them what are the challenges they're struggling with, and I have all those which we find on our RTT intake forum. So you recognize all those. I'm not quite happy with what I have there. There's something missing that I need to add, like other. Because you never know what people come with, what kind of problem they come to you. They may be interested in something related to career issues, but then they may name it differently. So there has to be an other box. Let's just click for now career issues. I have procrastination problems. I don't know what to do to achieve my goals, etc. So we go to next. Out of the challenges you have selected, which one affects you currently the most and how? So you see, I'm nailing now down, okay? They clicked several, but this person is like, well, I really procrastinate. And that's what I'm interested in, solving this issue. Now there is the magic wand question. If I could grant you one wish, what would that be? Oh, well, I'd really get rid of my tendency to push important things aside, right? And I click on next. And now I asked them something really important. After your hypnotherapy session with Stef, you will be given a transformation recording on a scale of 1 to 10. How ready are you to listen to the recording every day for at least 21 days? Well, if you're really committed, obviously you will go for 10 or for 9, at least for 8. If somebody answers 5, I will eliminate them from accessing the Calendly call. That's what I'm doing here with this. This is the purpose of this questionnaire. So I gather information, but at the same time, I do not want to talk to people who are not committed from the get-go. If they answer on this questionnaire anything from 1 to 7, I will kindly tell them that they may not be ready yet, but that I will gladly accept them in a discovery call the day they feel they are committed, right? And by then I have their email, because you saw in the beginning of this questionnaire, I asked for their email. So there will be a sequence where they will receive information about hypnotherapy, about its effectiveness. Maybe that person didn't quite understand yet how well hypnotherapy may be able to help that person. In which case the email sequence can take care of that, help that person better understand. And then they come back to the question and fill it out again. And this time it will be an 8 or a 9 or a 10. And then they will be accepted in the call, right? So let's not just say they were committed. So I'm going for a 9. I'm also asking them if they actually have the financial capacity to invest in the program. I do it very simply to show them that this is not something that's like a $50 investment. I tell them with the pricing that I am saying, that I'm giving them, 350 is the price point at which it starts, to explain to them that this is something they should take seriously. and we all know about the importance, the psychological effect of asking somebody to pay for something. If I were asking $50 for a session, I would have a lot of customers. Okay. But it's not necessarily, I'm not necessarily helping a lot of people, because at $50, the risk on my personal involvement is so low that I could kick the tires at that low price point. If I'm asking for $350, I'm signaling right away, this is serious stuff. I take my time, I invest my time to really help you. And they will feel that once they are on the discovery call with me. I will make that very clear, that I want to help people and that I'm there for them. So that is reflected in a certain price. And on the website, let me quickly go here. I advertise very openly the prices that I have: 30-day program, a 6-day program, a 90-day program, and there will be other programs as well. And it starts at $350. So I explain to people, yes, I expect to be paid. Oh, sorry, you didn't say my screen. I'll go back here. So again, there's the 30-day program, a 60-day program, the 90-day program. So I want people to understand that this is not a free-for-all, that there is involvement of their side required. So let's say that person, yes, of course, I understand. And I absolutely want to get rid of my procrastination issue. My life goal is completely hindered by that. I need to get rid of it. So they say yes. And if they say yes and submit, then only will they receive an access to the discovery call. So you now see the difference between what Jasmine has on her website, which is good. That's a first level. As a first level, this is completely acceptable, right? There's a lot of websites which don't have that, do not offer it. But obviously, once you drive traffic to that page with, for example, Google Ads, you may get overwhelmed with free booking calls, and they take all time out of your calendar to actually do the paid sessions. That's where the discovery funnel comes in that I was just showing you. You will very quickly realize that you need it, because between you and me, I don't perceive it as a problem to find paying clients. It's rather for me to find the right type of clients. And that's why I'm adding those filters with a questionnaire, and why I want to talk to them during the discovery call. I only want to work people that I think are committed. It show me that they are committed, and because I'm pouring my heart into this, and I hope you'll do too. So I want to work with people who are serious, taking care of their problems. I think you will do. You want to do that too. So let's move on, because we're already on, wow, half an hour on just the first 2 points. This is way longer than I thought. Okay, let's go to the next point. Use direction. So keep the action above the fold. We have this, right? There is the action above the fold. But as we said, it's this takes a lot of people will start to travel around and forget about the free booking call. Let's say I would go here, Schmerz coaching. Okay, that's good. I like that now we have the information about coaching in terms of the pain management, and the free booking call is still visible. There is, I would say, this is the page, by the way. I just click through Schmerz coaching, so pain coaching. I still have the free booking call here visible, but there's a lot of text, and people don't like to read anymore. So video is probably something that should be envisioned here to solve this problem. Let's go back to here we go. Use directional cues. So I have to go back to the landing page. If that's the landing page, I like the fact that you added a picture. Very important. Always add your picture. Eye contact makes a big, big difference in terms of conversions, in terms of the trust that is projected into creating the rapport between a potential client and you as the therapist. So that's a good point. I like that. It's maybe a little bit small, and there's there's a lot of white going on around here, but nonetheless, it's there. Okay, so why I always hit the wrong button. Sorry. Let's go to the next point so that we can still have a look at Jasmine's website as well. Directional cues. Directional cues can be more than the look of the eyes. When I have a book or free call or discovery call, I always want to have to be that close to my eyes. So if you could put this here, but then you will have a problem with your WordPress website, which has been set up with as a menu here. If you add it here, then you have it twice, or you take it out and then you have to repeat it manually on each of the pages. So WordPress is not easy to make those changes, and that's also one of the reasons why I always recommend to here, book your free call. I would have it close to my eyes here. If you have a look at my website, my web page, landing page, the free discovery call is at the level of the eyes. It's not right next to the eyes, because what I wanted to have next to the eyes is the claim, get back on track with Stef. But nonetheless, oops, sorry, that's Jasmine. Here we go. So next point. Remove navigation and other distractions. That's precisely what we was just talking about. There's a lot of things going on, okay? So let me show you how this can be taken care of. With the landing page builder, it's incredibly easy to do this. A landing page builder, once you've got your template designed for your home page, this is my home page, and I show you now my example here. Let's go back to my website. Well, it's a landing page builder which allows you to do website. So this looks like a website, and it is a website, right? It has a menu, it has my social buttons, my pricing information, the type of services that I'm addressing, the pricing information is there. There's the free discovery call button, everything is there. But let's say we just set up the landing page for smoking. If I click on smoking and I go to the landing page for stop smoking, you'll see some very important changes. First of all, the first thing I want you to notice is it's the same design, right? It's very similar to the landing page of the home page of my site that you saw earlier. The prices are no longer there, but everything else is pretty much the same. But I switched the pictures, right? And that's very easy to do with a landing page builder like Convertri. I just took my home page, I cloned it, which is a click of a button with a landing page builder. And Jasmine, you probably, no, Jasmine, sorry. Jasmine, you probably know that it's not a click on a button with WordPress. It's a whole new different story that's involved. I cloned the page and then I just switched pictures. So I switched pictures here to this picture, a man running. So he's probably in good health, happy that he's no longer smoking. Everything else is the same, but now I switch text. Here's why you are smoking. So I add now specific stop smoking related information to us. The problem, I explain the problem, why it's safe, take action, long-lasting results, what you'll experience. Again, I have the free discovery call button, but again, this will drive that person into the discovery call funnel, right? So something else that's very different from this one, this landing page. So by the way, just so you know, this landing page that you just saw about stop smoking, for all the pages that you saw earlier here on the home page, you have stop smoking, childhood problems, sleep problems, eating, food, weight, exercise, anxiety. All these, I'll probably not leave them all that. This will change. It's not a final homepage yet. And I will only add what problems, obviously, that I want really to offer as a service. But for each of those, I want a separate page. I want a separate page for childhood problems, if that's what I want to offer. I want a separate page for sleep problems, for eating problems, etc., etc. So if that's something you'd like to do with WordPress, well, good luck, because they need to be designed individually. Yes, you can copy them in WordPress, but it's a lot more difficult to do, to swap out the images, etc., etc. It's just like, if I and I know WordPress, if I compare WordPress to a landing page builder has been designed to do very easy and fast what's called A/B testing, like testing version A versus version B. So it needs to be easy to do, right? WordPress is not easy for that. So there's a time for each of those pages. It's just a click to clone it, and then I rewrite the text and I swap out images. And then my childhood problem page is done. My sleep problem page is done. My eating problems is done. And something else that's very difficult to do if you do it with WordPress. Let me show you something here. Let's go back to the stop smoking page. Compare the header of my landing page, which is actually the home page of my website, with the stop smoking page. Do you see the difference? Look at the top. At the top here, I have Stef Becker, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, home, about me, what I help with. I have a lot of information going on. For me, that's a lot of information. I'm not even, oh, sorry, I'm not showing my screen. Here we go. On my page, on this page, look at this page and compare to this page. Again, this page versus this page. This is a stop smoking dedicated landing page. And this is my homepage for all the services because they're all listed here. The big difference is that on my homepage, it's designed to provide information about everything I do and everything I am as a hypnotherapist. So I provide all the information, social media accounts, about me, what I help with. It's a discussion, it's a discovery, right? It's like, it's the famous bucket with a lot of holes, but those holes, I want them to be there because I want people to be able to travel around in those pages and to learn more about me. I will never use this page here for a Google Ads campaign. Never, ever. Why? Because I do not want people to get away from the main objective I want them to achieve. This is the page I would use for a Google Ads campaign. And the Google Ads campaign that I would do for this page would be exclusively focusing on stop smoking, right? So from a stop smoking ad to land on this page, and the only thing they can do here is to get a free discovery call. Do you see the difference? Here, if I would send them here, get back on track with Stef. Yeah, why not? I want to stop smoking. Oh, wait a minute. There's other things to this. Oh, I can go away everywhere on this page. It's a bucket full of holes. It's not well adapted for an ad, all right, for an ads campaign. Oh, guess what? There's another thing. There are all these links and all these other things. I am pretty much drowning somebody with information that drives them away potentially from what they're really interested in, what they were initially actually came to visit my website. And on this page, the only thing they can do is to take a free discovery call. There's nothing else. There's no link on this page other than a free discovery call. Everything else is information about how this works, why I'm the right person, my testimonials, who I am, how it works here again. And it's always just about the free discovery call because that's what I want. So imagine that if I attract, let's say, 100 clicks a month on this page of people who want to stop smoking, the chances are that they convert on this page, if they are serious about their problem, are pretty high. They're much lower if I send them to this page because they can get lost and they can do something else. They can even completely be driven away by the social media buttons here and leave that site altogether, in which case I lose the potential conversion. So if you wanted to do something like this with WordPress or with Wix, you'll be in trouble because, and Jasmine, you will know that if you want to do a new page in your WordPress website, whenever you click on anything else, what you have here, I'm pretty much sure that your menu is always there. You want it to be there all the time because this is a website done as a brochure. You want to show them everything, and that's perfectly fine, right? But your menu is always there. They're always tempted to go somewhere else. This is impossible with a landing page. And if you wanted to do this on a WordPress website, you would need to copy that page and to do a completely different template with a CSS style sheet on WordPress to have a landing page that does not have the menu. It's not difficult to do, but again, it takes time, right? And I was not showing it. Let me show this again. If I go on a different page on Jasmine's website, I'll always go, wherever I go, I keep the menu. You see the menu here, the header, this is called, is always visible with whatever happens. If you send ads on these pages, on any, let's say you have a campaign about Schmerz coaching, pain management. Well, they come here, but they also see this. They're tempted to travel around and they will leave that page, right? So you lose them. Something else that happens here. When I scroll down, I lose, but that's good. I lose the menu, but you repeated the button. That's well done, Jasmine. But again, you do not have a landing page. This is not an optimized landing page because they can go anywhere else. So let's go to the next point on our list. But you know what? Because we only have 15 minutes left, I'd like to give Stephanie the possibility to have a look at her page now. So let's come, and then we go back to this next week, for example, for the remaining points that we have on our list here. Let me show you this list again. We go to the social proof, compelling copy, keep it fast, design for the right device, test and update your landing pages, and consider using templates. We go through that again. Let's have a look at quickly at Stephanie's page. So Stephanie Fernandez, her website, I like very much the design. Why? Because I personally speaking, I just love full page images, right? I even love full page videos more than images, but full page images are pretty good already, right? I have here on this page, ensure your messages, message your ads. We cannot go into this. We discussed it in the beginning. Keep the action above the fold. Well, the action is above the fold. I have here work with me, but they also have book now. So what is it, Stephanie, that you want somebody to do on this page? Do you want them to book now? Is that more important? Or do you want them to work with you? Work with you with me is probably going to an information page. Let's click on it. Yes, you give information about rapid transformational therapy. And by the way, there's a lot of white space here, Stephanie. Be very careful with this because it's not above the fold. The most important thing that you want to show people is you and why they should be working with you. So you need that space to make that evident without them scrolling. Whenever people need to scroll just for information, you will lose conversions. Now, your book now button is always visible. I like that, but it's a little bit small. It's not, it's in the top right corner. I'd probably like it somewhere else. I'd probably redesign that. The same problem we have as with Jasmine's is that whatever you do, you always have your menu visible. So it's good for a website because this is a website after all. It's, again, for informing somebody about you, what you're offering. You have your about you, what is art? You give a lot of information about the products, the blog, you have an FAQ. Everything is there. It's like giving somebody a catalog about yourself, of what you're doing. That's fine. It's not well adapted to drive ads with the purpose to convert people that visit your website into potential clients, because you will lose those. If I would have to invest $500 a month into ads, I absolutely want to make sure that they cannot be lost. This, what we see here, is, while it's well designed, I probably like this design more than the design that I saw a little bit earlier on Jasmine's website. It still is a bucket with a lot of holes because people can go everywhere else. If you compare it to the page that I was showing earlier, this one, there is no hole. The only thing people can do is to take the free discovery call. And remember, people that came to this page are only people that came from an ads that was only targeting people that want to stop smoking. Nobody will come here for pain management. That's not what I was targeting. The keywords I will target with the Google Ads campaign here is only about stop smoking. Let's say you would be doing this for, let's say what you're offering. Healing Parent, RTT for children. Okay. Hypnobirthing course. Let's say the Healing Parent program. If I go to this page, if you send traffic to this page, you will lose conversions because they have so many options to do. Still, you have the book now button. And I guess if I click there, I go to a Calendly booking page. Well done. Okay. But again, if you drive a lot of traffic on that page, similar to Jasmine, you will end up probably with a lot of free sessions booked that fill your calendar instead of being able to leave the spaces for those free sessions. It's the error we all do when we start out, because in the beginning, we don't have a lot of clients and we always think it's so difficult to find clients. It's not. It's not difficult to find clients. There are so many people who have problems, obstacles they need to take care of, and they have the problem. They know that they have to take the decision that they want to get rid of, that they want to solve those problems. You just need to target them in the right way. And targeting in that sense, if we talk about Google Ads, is to have the keywords matched with the search that they have and the problem that they experience. For example, you're offering, wait a minute, healing parent. I don't know exactly what it is, or RTT for children. Let's say it's RTT for children and those children have anxieties, phobias, or whatever. Let's niche it down. What type of phobias? Is it exam stress? Is it spiders? Is it self-confidence, self-esteem? All these are different niches, and they're all related to very specific keywords. If a parent knows their child has a problem with successfully completing exams because at home they get A, B, and maybe some C grades all the time, whenever they sit down for an exam, they're stressing out and there's nothing else coming out than C, D, and E. They immediately, we see there's a problem with exam anxiety. So if people know that, if parents know this, that's the keyword they will be using on Google. Like, how to remove exam stress for children. Boom, you have your keyword right there. It's called a key phrase. You can target key phrases specifically for that type of problem with Google Ads. That's what makes it so effective. And when people, parents in this case, obviously, enter that as a keyword, your ad will show, and your ad will link to a specific page taking care of that specific problem. So you need as many landing pages as you have specific problems that you are able to address. Not one generic page that talks about everything you're taking care of when it comes to children, as you have here. Anxiety, low self-esteem, sleep issues, low eating disorder, fears of phobia. We have them all. I just was naming them. You see, I just named them. But you cannot send them here. I mean, you can, but it's pretty sure that you lose a certain amount of conversions compared to a page that has been specifically designed to address the problem of low self-esteem. And imagine on that page, your title reads, "Get rid of low self-esteem with children." Discovery call, the button right there. And below that, you have a video where you explain, addressing to a parent, how first of all, how well you understand how painful that must be for a child to go through. And then you talk about the solutions that you can offer and how hypnotherapy can solve that issue. And then the text is related to it. A testimonial comes from somebody who had booked a session, and you were successfully removing low self-esteem. The entire page makes you look as the specialist taking care of that child's low self-esteem. Your conversion rates automatically go up. That's what we're looking at. And if I tell you, if I recommend to invest into Google Ads, you want to make sure that those $500 a month are well invested. And they are much better invested if each of those keywords sends people to a specific landing page addressing that specific problem. That's what we're trying to achieve here. So, and if you have a Google Ads campaign and you have 10, 15, 20 problems that you address, then you have 20, what's called an ad group, 20 ad groups within the same campaign addressing each of those problems individually. Each ad is focusing on a specific problem: low self-esteem, phobia, exam stress. And each ad sends to one specific landing page that talks about that specific problem. That's what we're trying to achieve. That's where the connect is and should be and must be between a landing page and the Google Ads campaign. Each ad being specifically written for a specific problem, sending to a specific landing page. And that's not what we have here. So as a website, as a brochure website, very good, very nice. Not well done to drive traffic and to increase the number of clients that you would be finding per month. For that, you need landing pages. And you can maybe, I don't know what this website has been done with, if it's Wix or WordPress, but it's the same problem if it's not an easy to manage landing page builder. Let's go back to the home page very quickly, Stefanie. I love this. I love the image because you engage, like Jasmine, your eyes are looking straight into the camera. You are close to your own name. This is what you are. While it should be the claim or the title that should be here is what you're good at. like a hint to the problems you solve, or a hint to the benefit you're offering. Like I did on my page here, when I say get back on track with Stef, I tell people right away, I know that you're not on track and I can help. Why? Because I'm a certified practitioner. This is the why. This is what I'm doing, and this is why I'm able to do it. Right? When I go to your page, I have just your name and what you are. People don't, they're not, it's not as precise as telling them right away that you know what their problem is, or that you know that you can solve that type of problem. Okay, so that's for the title here. The directional cue to direct the eye is there. For me, that's there. It's just like you need to probably change this here a little bit to be more specifically relating to the problems that you, or the issues that you can solve. Show your product or service in action. That's a point that I don't see a lot on web pages that I will add on my page. It's difficult to show a product in action. What does that mean? Show your product or service in action. Well, it means that we could show us as hypnotherapists what we're doing, or at least we could have a video where we talk about what we're doing. And we could put this video here, full frame, on this homepage. Now, if I tell somebody who has a WordPress website, a Wix website, or a Squarespace website to have a full frame video, most of you will probably freak out because it's not easy to do. I mean, we've done it on let me show you one of our other websites. Oh, even on Stef Becker. If I go to Stef Becker here, see this video has been integrated on WordPress. But it took us what, like hours to find out how to do it above the fold, to make it appear nicely, and how to make it up correctly. It's not easy. Here on this page, you see right now there's a picture of me, right? But this will become a video. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you. Again, on this page, this will become a video, right? And it is not easy on WordPress. Here we integrated the video full frame on WordPress, but it took hours, right? So if we do this on our homepage of a landing page builder like this one, it's much easier. So this will become a video where basically the video here is running. There's no sound, and only if you click on the sound button, you will hear what I'm actually saying on this page. So that's pretty much related to this second point that was mentioned here in one of the best practices for landing pages. Show your product or service in action. You can talk about what you're doing, right? We all know why RTT is successful, or why hypnotherapy, whatever certificate or whatever training you've taken, how and why it is so successful. So we can talk about it, right? We talked about this point here, remove navigation and other distractions. So we understand now when it comes to landing pages why this is so important. And I suggest that for today, that's where we should leave it at, because there's so much more to say and to tell you. And I even made speed tests on both of your websites, by the way, that I can very quickly show, but we will go in more detail next week, probably. Just very quickly, speed is very important, how fast pages are loading. So I made a test with Jasmine's webpage, and from Gmetrics you get a C, because you have somewhere your server response time is low. It's probably because you use with your WordPress site a low cost server to host the site, and that's penalizing you. So your largest contentful pane takes 2.6 seconds to load. And just remember, it doesn't seem to be a lot, 2.6 seconds, but any second or fraction of a second will reduce the page, will reduce conversions. If somebody clicks, you wouldn't probably care if you do your website and your hypnotherapy services just on the side. But if you are investing into Google Ads and you want to make this work because you're investing, you want to make sure that your website is fast. You don't want to lose conversions because the website is slow, because that's a server-related issue. Sometimes it's a design issue. WordPress in itself is quite heavy, and that's also where landing page builders shine. They're much faster because they're designed to be fast. It's very difficult to achieve that in WordPress or Wix even. So let's go back to this one, to the website. Sorry, to the website here. So that's a C. It's okay, let's say. But if you're driving Google Ads, I would never leave it on a C. I would push it at least to good B. For you, Stephanie, pretty much the same. You have a C as well. Yours is 2.67 seconds. And by the way, with G metrics, you'll find exactly what's going on. You have an enormous network payload. The entire page that needs to be loaded is over 3.77 megabytes. So it's very heavy. And then you get all the information. When you click in here, you see precisely where the problems are and where the heavy images. There's image compression that needs to be done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on the website to get this right. And that's where, again, I'm seeming to sell landing pages, which I'm not even selling. I'm offering a landing page solution as part of our program at low cost, but I'm not owning landing pages, selling them because of that. Now let's compare that to my landing page builder convertery with which I build HypnoStef. I call it HypnoStef. Look at the values. It's an A. Performance 100%. The structure is 87. My largest contentful pane. I load my page in under a second, in under half a second. And that makes a big difference when it comes to conversions. So you don't care about your site page, your page or your website loading fast if you just do hypnotherapy on the side. If you're fully employed somewhere and you do it because you like to do this and you do just word of mouth, you hand out your business cards, and if there's a client here and there, you're happy with that, you don't need to optimize your website. You just keep what you have. If your objective is to help as many people as you can, and if you really love the idea of becoming a successful hypnotherapist and to have this as a full-time job, a business, because you love helping people, then you need a certain amount of recurring revenue, monthly revenue. You need to be successful, right? You need this to make this worthwhile. And that means you need to invest in ads. That's in Google Ads, if you wanted to be fast. And with fast, I mean, like, if your landing page is designed and everything else is done, doing a Google Ads campaign is a matter of 48 hours, 3 days, it's done and it's online and the phone starts ringing. That's how fast this is. Facebook takes longer. Conversion rates are lower. Social media takes even longer, like social media activities, but they build a lot of momentum. So everything of those three tools has its advantages and disadvantages. Google Ads is probably the fastest one of all of the three. But again, if you want to invest into Google Ads, which I recommend if you're serious, then you must make sure that you have pages that load fast, that are optimized. You have landing pages where each landing page is specific to one problem and not more. You should avoid menus where people can get drawn out of your page and no longer convert. You need to optimize everything in what's called your marketing funnel, beginning from the landing page. One button, one action. They'll be doing in a discovery call funnel where you eliminate people that are not decided yet. You need to optimize everything, because trust me, once you invest $500 and you find your first 10 clients with this, you'll realize that, oh, well, wait a minute, I just need to double that and I have 20 clients a month. Boom. It's like, okay, I'm investing $1,000, but no, I have 20 clients. Well, 20 clients times $300, how much is that? That's a lot of money. You have a return on investment. That's scaling your business. And you no longer see it as a cost, it's an investment. But before you do all that, you need to take care of your website and you need to have a landing page for those individual services. So I don't see questions on Facebook. So I guess it was either completely overwhelming or not interesting. I hope it was interesting. Anyway, there's so much more things to be said and to be explained, and it will be much easier for me to do that once I have my own website landing page, hypnotherapy, HypnoStef, up and running with everything optimized the way it should be. When I launch it, I will launch my own Google Ads campaign, and then I will be able to show you the results as well. And then we can really, then you'll see. Once you see this in action, you'll understand why it's important that you get the top of the funnel, as it's called, your website, and then the ads for those landing pages, that you get that right. So I hope it was of interest to you, and I thank you for watching. And please do add your websites if you're listening to this as a replay. Add your websites to this below as a comment, in which case I will take some of those and have a look at those. But you start to understand how things should be done and what needs to be optimized. And next week, we'll have a look at the other 4 points or 5 points that were missing in the 11 best practices for landing pages on for maybe Jasmine and Stephanie again, or maybe I take other people, because it depends all on the number of websites that you are adding as a comment below. Until then, I wish you a nice Thursday, have a nice Friday, and a great weekend, and I talk to you soon. Bye-bye.